5%.
What's up, disciplined investor?
We got Benzinga CEO Jason Raznick here with us.
The man, the myth, the legend, Tom Nash.
Peter Schiff on the Power Hour with us live today. Interesting, different, unique, innovative companies. Nia, you are live with us on the Power Hour. What's up?
Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Jessica Billingsley, that is the CEO of Akerna, the best trade idea resource out there.
All right, Lucas doesn't have sound. Luke, what's your problem? You don't have sound?
I think he's noticed that he still has WMC.
Today, okay?
He can't hear. Okay, he can talk, but he can't hear what we're saying. So, Luke, he can't get the thing in his ear.
All right, there. We're going on the other ear today, okay?
We're going to have to get either some here or something like that. Logitech. What's up with the headsets? Let's see those stocks. What's up with that? Hot stock Luke, take over. Let's see what you got for us today.
All right, guys. We have, as always, a jam-packed day today. I'm going to start today off the way that I start every single day, which is reminding you guys of the point of the show. The reason why we're spending this time together, these 60, 90, 120 minutes, is because we want this to be the best trade idea resource out there. That's what we're going for. If we're not bringing the ideas, guys, call us out in the chat. Let us know, because we want to be delivering for you. And of course, ideas will not just come from myself, come from Jason, but come out of ZingerNation. That's all of you out there in the chat, in the community, hanging out with us every single day. And I'm going to ask you guys, share this stream, like this stream. We want to get the viewer counts up. We want to make ZingerNation bigger. The more people we have in here, the more ideas that we have going. So that's the deal there, guys. For today, I've got a ton of stocks to talk about up front. So we'll be doing that. We will, of course, be doing a chat challenge. So that's where ZingerNation is going head to head and trying to figure out who in the chat should be listening to, who can bring the ideas. The question of the week this week, so start thinking about it early. The question of the week this week is going to be, what is the best performing stock of the week going to be? It's been a while since we said open floor. We're just picking the best stock. So we will be doing that. The winner is going to get whatever they want out of swag.benzinga.com. So that's the deal there. And then we have 3 guests joining us today. So at 12:30, we're going to have Nick from Bull Market Finder. At 1 o'clock, we're going to be bringing Meet Kevin on. Huge YouTube channel. So Meet Kevin is going to be coming on. And then at 1:30, a favorite of the chat, one of our deep value investors, Tom Nash, is going to be joining us up at 1:30, guys. So that is the deal there. Shout out to everybody hanging out with us here on ZingerNation. I do like warming up and getting us going with a couple of the user calls. Is that something that we're ready to do, Producer Rohan? Not yet. All right. I got a not yet on the calls from ZingerNation, but hey, we'll take some calls in as well. But all right, guys, drop me any stocks that we should be looking at today too. Put them in the chat there. I've got a laundry list, so I'm hoping that we'll have time to get through them. But there are some good ones. So let's see. FRX, FSR, EBIX. See, somebody's talking about Planet Fitness. I closed that one. I'm out. We bailed on it on Friday, as discussed. But all right, let's just start ripping it. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to put Benzinga Pro up here. I'm going to give you guys some updates on the live portfolio. Again, the live portfolio, it's my real interactive brokers account that we look at every single day. We're not just talking about these stocks. We're actually buying them, trading them live on the show. You're not going to get that from anywhere else. So I've got updates on a handful of stocks that we track, we own, we talk about on this show. Opko Health, that's an interesting one. And then I actually have a new trade for you guys too. I'm going to be, but before we bring our guest on, I'm going to be hitting a new trade. Luke's been keeping the Monster Energy drink stock alive. Yes, that is absolutely true. But all right, let's start off with, let's do Torch as the first one. TRCH. I'm going to put it up on the chart here. If you guys are in Torch, then you know that the thing is ripping today. Here's a 1-year chart. Let's go back. Here's a 5-day chart. Stock still down off of the highs. We got a really nice run today on Torch TRCH after Hugh, who pitched us the stock on the show originally, gave an update on his podcast, Pennies Going in Raw. Basically, there was a negative article that came out of Seeking Alpha. He went on, he refuted that article, So do I, and that's driving some energy into the stock. If any of you guys are in Torch, make sure you subscribe to their podcast. Again, it's called Pennies Going in Raw. Producer AB will drop that in the chat for you guys so you have the link. But he's consistently been giving updates on the stock in that podcast, and it's become a catalyst where we see today he gave an update on the stock. He did some more diligence, shared some of his thoughts with that negative report that came out of it. And now you've got the stock popping 16, 17% right here. So there's the Torch update. That's one that we own. Another one that HIMS, HIMS. I listened to an interview with the CEO that came out yesterday. Also out of the podcast. A couple of interesting things that I want to point out on HIMS. This is a stock that we're in from maybe 23, 24, somewhere in there. So we are down a decent bit on it. I did trim all SPAC positions and post-SPAC positions because we've been getting hammered on some of the ones that we're in, but we still do own a chunk of the stock. A couple of interesting things from the HIMS CEO that might make waves later this week. Is he jumped on the anti-Robinhood bandwagon. Bandwagon did suspend trading in HIMS for a little bit. He jumped on there, so that might get a little bit of play. The other point that he made is that the business could flip profitable at any moment here, but they've got 11 different categories of products. Again, this is our telemedicine stock, but they've got 11 different categories of products that they could be getting into. And so he made a really compelling point as to, hey, we've been growing revenue 100% a year. We grew at 70% last year. That revenue growth is going to keep up. So reading between the lines a little bit, he was very bullish on it. Does Cathie Wood still own HIMS? I believe so. If somebody in ZingerNation can confirm that, I believe Cathie Wood still does have that HIMS position on there. So there's our update there. Let's see. Let's just keep running down the list of ideas. Voyager Digital. Let's do that one. VYGVF. So check this out. I'm going to point out Riot Blockchain down 9% now. Mara, another crypto stock, down 9%. SOS, another hot crypto stock, down 8%. If we look at our Voyager Digital VYGVF, I don't have a chart to pull up, unfortunately, actually up 4% today. It's the only crypto stock that I'm aware of that's up 4%. I did a deep dive on this stock over the weekend. And basically, I want to walk you guys through it. It's a stock that we've talked about for a while, and you guys can see my average price here. You can see where the stock is trading at now. So, I mean, it's been a huge winner on it. But let's go through the let's basically go through the case that I made. I basically made a long case for this stock. So if you're not familiar with Voyager Digital, basically what they are is they're a crypto brokerage. They're distinctly different from an exchange in that they're a brokerage which connects their users to 12 different exchanges. So it's for individual investors like you and I who want to buy, sell, trade crypto. They connect us to 12 different exchanges, and their trading is commission free. The way that Voyager makes money is when they can fill a trade for a better price than what they quoted you. So the example that I had here, this didn't really age well. Bitcoin was 57,000 at the time on Saturday night. But basically, if let me go back. But basically, if they quote you a price for Bitcoin at 57,000, they fill it at 56,997, right? So that's they filled the trade $3 better than what they had quoted you. They take part in some profit sharing there. So that's the way that the stock makes money is, they try to fill you at a better price than what they offer. And they take a percentage of that cost savings. With that, they offer 55 different digital assets. It's more than Coinbase, more than Kraken, more than Gemini, more than pretty much all the exchanges out there. So it's interesting. But let's dig into the numbers because here's what I think is interesting with this thing, and I'll have the text up on the screen, but I'll walk through it in a little bit more of a straightforward way. But basically, the company announced, they've been giving us a nice trickle of information. The company announced in January that they did $8.5 million of revenue. Then in the first 4 days of February, they did $2.5 million of revenue. Okay, for the entirety of Q4, they did something like, I don't know, what was it? I've got the number in here, something like 300,000 or something along those lines. So okay, no, they did 3.5 million in Q4. They did 300,000 for the same quarter last year. So we know that they did at least $8.5 million of revenue in January, $2.5 million in the first 4 days of February. And check this out that I spotted on their investor presentation. They've processed 1 million trades through February 15th. So we know that they made $2.5 million in those first 4 days of February, and we know that their average trades per day increased from 60,000 to 69,000 from the period of February 1st through 4th, and then 5th through 15th. All right, so that's all bullish for the stock. And so if we take a fairly conservative look at revenue, right, I've got the math that I did up here on the screen, but if we take a fairly conservative look at their revenue and try to project it out through the end of the quarter, it puts us at 34 million. I expect that their revenue will be higher because I'm taking 66% of what they did in those first 4 days of February. And we know that their average trades per day increase. The more trading volume, the better that they can get those fills, the better the price of the stock should be. All right. So even if we take that super conservative approach and forecast their revenue for the quarter to come out to 34 million, that's still 50% higher than the analyst estimate on the stock. Right. If you back that out to a full year, right? So if they have no revenue growth, and again, keep in mind, revenues exploded from 3.5 million to 35 million from Q4 to Q1, right? Then they're only trading at a 15 EV to sales ratio. Yes, 15 is high, but again, that builds in that essentially builds in no growth, and it assumes that revenue is going to be lower than I think that it's actually going to be for the quarter. So I think that this story is getting out there. Again, the company's done a terrific job of getting information into all of our hands. I'm still in the stock. I've been in the stock since 52 cents. Right, you can see it's at 15.5 right now. So it's been a couple years that I've had this one, but I wanted to do a deep dive after the run up in this thing because the explosion in price has been crazy, and I think that the numbers still support a long case. So I'm not touching a single share. The company reports earnings on March 1st. So we will get data there. Again, they have been consistently providing us information as you know, time goes on. It seems like every week they're giving us an update on trade activity, on volume, on assets under management, that sort of thing. And so for that reason, I think that we will get news before that March 1st earnings date. If not, then it's just until next week. Let's see, what day of the week is that? Tuesday. So that's Monday of next week at the latest is when we'll get news. So I really like this stock into earnings. It's the biggest individual stock position that I have. Granted, it is OTC. It is thin. There's a lot of risk in it. I'm not saying to follow me into this thing, but that's my bull case for Voyager. And I want to throw this one out to ZingerNation and out to you guys. Let's make this the first question of the day that we're going to ask. If you guys like this stock, you like the bull case that I'm presenting there, I put it on my Twitter. Producer AB can drop a link to it in the chat. But if you guys like the bull case on the stock, throw me the one in the chat. If you don't, you think it's too run up, Bitcoin is too much downside, that'll hit the thing, then throw me the 2. But again, I wanted to do some quick analysis into the earnings report that we have coming out next week. And I still like it based off the numbers I'm seeing. Again, I think that they'll report at least 50% higher than that analyst forecast. And the revenue growth that they're putting up quarter over quarter, again, let's say it's 3.5 million to 40 million or 45 million, is insane. That's going to catch eyeballs. It's now a $2 billion stock. It's a size where it may be able to uplist, right? So it might start trading on the NASDAQ or something along those lines. We don't know that. It's all speculation. But again, I think that there's a lot of good things going on for this company. And you guys seem pretty mixed on this one. It seems like we've got just about an even split of ones and twos there. All right. I like it. And producer Rohan, you're throwing me a hand signal. Are we ready for some calls? We are ready. All right. I just rambled for a long time. I've got 2 more stocks to give updates on, and then I've got a new stock to pitch. I'm going to make the case for a new ticker I'll be adding to the portfolio live on the show. But before we get to that, let's take some calls from ZingerNation. Can you put the phone number up on the screen, please? I guess while he puts that up, while he gets that number there, we get the calls coming in. Again, Zinger Nation, dial in. Talk about anything you want. Talk about a stock you like. Talk about Spencer Israel. Make a joke. It helps me get the blood flowing. But I want to talk about Apex for a second while we wait for that to come in. So Apex clearing, really interesting SPAC deal that happened today. So Apex clearing is merging with SPAC, ticker NSTB. That's November Sandy Tango Bravo. I'll put it in there. It's going to be a $4.7 billion deal that's happening. Basically, if you guys aren't familiar with Apex and you're in the market, you should know what this company does. Apex is the backbone to basically all these new online commission-free brokerages that we have, right? So if you're looking at Robinhood does their own now, but Robinhood a couple of years ago, you're looking at Public, you're looking at Doe, you're looking at maybe even Webull, I'm not sure. But for pretty much all of these commission-free online brokerages, Apex is the backbone that clears the trades and executes the orders, right? The work of the brokerage is not actually clearing these trades for their customers. It's making a badass trading experience. That's how they differentiate, is they want to create that best front-end experience. And so Apex is the backbone that clears all those trades. So here's basically the bull and the bear case for it. If you guys think that online, like these new retail brokerages are going to be the future of trading, and there's going to be more market participants and more trading activity, then you should be long Apex, because that's good for Apex's stock. If you think that we're in a little bit of a bubble, they're choosing to IPO now because we've had that surge in trading already, etc. Then that's a reason not to use Apex. So I think that this thing looks pretty dang cheap. I mean, we saw the stock here. Let me make this chart bigger for you guys. Here's a 2-day chart of the SPAC that's going to be merging with Apex. We saw the stock spike up to $12.50. Now it's trading right around that $11 range. I for $11, I sort of think this one is a steal. I haven't dug into the numbers yet. Again, we just got the deal early this morning, so I'll put that on the homework list. I will come back to you guys tomorrow with an opinion on NSTB. That's the SPAC that's buying Apex clearing. There we go. All right, and we might be adding this one into the live portfolio. I see somebody throwing Tiger in there. I do own Tiger. I also own Charles Schwab, Interactive Brokers. Basically, the thesis for all these online brokerage stocks that I own is that I think they're all going to announce a record quarter, like some crazy breakout numbers. The amount of volume and activity that we've seen on Benzinga.com, which is now up to 15 million visitors a month, has been insane. The number of people we've seen going from Benzinga to go open brokerage accounts has been 4 times higher than when COVID hit, right? I really like to talk about the COVID surge in traders. When GameStop happened, at 4x the COVID numbers. And so that's my case for owning all these online brokerage stocks. That's why I like them. Apex plays into that. I do want to check out the numbers on this Apex deal, but that might be one that we're adding into the portfolio. But all right, producer Rohan, what's the deal?
The deal is I don't know, the app is like not taking calls or something. I put it up, but I'm not getting any incoming calls, and now it's frozen. So.
All right, we're not taking calls. All right, that means that I am going to keep rolling. Let's just hammer through some of these tickers in the chat that I wrote down. I'll start with EBIX. Somebody dropped that one in there. Holy crap. Okay. That's a bad day. So Ebix, this is down 40% right here. Trading lower after the company reported its independent accounting firm, RSM. Oh, shit. Their accounting firm resigned. RSM attributed its resignation to being unable to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence that would allow it to evaluate significant unusual transactions that occurred in Q4 2020. That's not good. That's clearly not good. So let's summarize the news here in EBIX. Stock's down 40%. Because it's accounting firm, right? That's the one that signs off on its financials and says, hey, it's something that you need in order to be a publicly traded company. The accounting firm that signs off on those financials bailed on the company, basically saying there's some weird shit that happened in Q4. I don't know. We haven't gotten evidence to support this, to make this weird shit not weird, to make it normal. And so we are bailing on the company. And that's not like a decision that the accounting firm would take lightly, right? It's not one where they just be like, we want to drop him as a client. We're just going to drop him as a client. I mean, this is a decision that probably went to the CEO or to the executive management of this accounting firm. And the fact that was their decision to drop a client, it suspects that there was something pretty unusual that happened. Let's look at this company. I don't know what it does. All right. So majority of its revenue is US based. A lot of times when we see this, it's non-US companies that have this happen, but it looks like it's majority of its revenue is EPS based or is US based. Does have a presence in other regions. I'm not gonna lie, I would imagine that it's some of that non-US revenue that may have that weird transactions. The company will come out if they haven't already. Let's just do a quick check and see if the company's issued a press release yet about this. Yeah, they did. Okay, so let's look at this together. So the company came out, it reaffirmed guidance. Let me make this bigger for you guys. Alrighty. So how is their financial health? Financial health is in better shape than ever, generate strong cash flows. So are they going to address it head on? Any fraud or wrongdoing? Not aware of any wrongdoing. They're not really addressing it head on. Here, maybe they are. All right. We don't have time to read this whole thing right now. It is a really positive sign that the company was able to come out with a press release and defend themselves already. So if you want a silver lining, that's it. I guess take some time, dig into it. If you're thinking about buying the dip, you should read that press release and make sure you feel comfortable that there's not going to be any sort of investigation, that the CEO wasn't stealing money. They weren't pumping up fake financials. A lot of times when we've seen this happen in the past, it's something like the company is pumping up their financials in an inappropriate way. And we'll look at Enron, right? If we look at the Enron story, they were basically recording revenue that's not legitimate revenue. And that's what we've seen for a lot of these fraudy type cases. So if you are going to buy the dip on this one, I saw some calls in the chat to buy the dip. But you better make sure you understand it. I'm curious. I'm going to throw this one out to ZingerNation. All right. You guys cannot abstain. You got to either flip this long or flip this short, one way or another. If you would buy this at the current price, $30.31, throw the 1 in the chat. If you would sell it at the current price, $30.31, throw the 2 in the chat. I'm a 2 in there right now. Ask Kevin about it later. Yeah, again, guys, if you're just joining now, a couple things that we have coming up. We've got Nick is going to be joining us shortly to talk about some swing trades. We're going to have Meet Kevin on at 1 o'clock. Tom Nash coming on at 1:30, and I've got a new stock pick that I'll be pitching you guys. And before let's do the chat challenge. All right, we've got some 2s in there. We've got some 1s in there. It surprises me a little bit. It's definitely a majority 2s, which again, that's where I'm at. I wouldn't be hitting this thing on the long side, but we do have some 1s. All right. So the Red 1010, he says he likes being the minority on this one. And I'm going to ask you this, Red, follow up, drop us in the chat to tell us why you like this one. On the flip side there, we've got another comment that says it begets more. Okay, no, he clarified. Not long. He likes it short. Okay, we all like it short. All right. So there's the deal there, guys. Let's take one more out of the chat and let's get to our chat challenge in a second here. Opko Health, they had news this morning, ticker OPK. Basically, the news out of Opko Health is that they're going to be participating in the New York rapid testing program. Basically, they've got 8 labs that are going to be providing rapid tests in New York. Stock initially popped on it. Do I think that's overwhelmingly positive? Not really, right? You're talking about a company that has a market cap of nearly $4 billion. They're going to have 8 centers to provide rapid COVID tests. How much money are they going to make off of that? Some, right? Greater than 0. But is it going to be material on a $4 billion company with 8 sites? I would imagine not. So all right. Those are 2 out of the chat. If we didn't get to yours yet, we'll try to get to it today. But let's do our chat challenge, guys. I'm opening up the file. I'm gonna drop it in the chat here. I'll make a first entry. There we go. Dropping this in the chat. All right. So the chat challenge, ZingerNation is going head to head to head to head to head.
Perfect.
All right, there it is. We have a new video for the chat challenge, guys. Link is in the chat. Can you edit this document? Somebody type something. There we go. All right. If you do not know what the chat challenge is, it means you have not been with us for long. This is a contest that we run every single week. Like the video said, ZingerNation is going head to head to head to head to head to figure out who is the best stock picker in the chat. 2 weeks ago, we asked everybody to guess the price of GameStop, with the winner getting a share of GameStop. Last week, we asked who's going to guess the price of Bitcoin closest, with the winner getting a snippet of a Bitcoin, not a full Bitcoin. This week, the question is, what is the best performing stock of the week going to be? That's what we're asking you guys. Put your answer in the sheet. Do not write over other people. Be courteous. Don't put curse words in the spreadsheet. We do this on the trust system. Scroll down, right? Don't be writing overlapping over everybody else. Scroll down. Put your entry down here. And drop in your answer. The winner this week, swag.benzinga.com, swag.benzinga.com. That is our merch store. We have all of our beautiful Benzinga wares, all of our Power Hour wares, all of our Joel Conan t-shirts. Yes, you can get a t-shirt with a picture of Joel's face on it. And we are going to be doing an update on this thing every single day. So if you're not subscribed and you're guessing, hit that subscribe button. Like the stream today. Share the stream today, guys. We want to get more people on this. When Kevin comes on, we want to make sure we've got a big crowd for him. I mean, he's got like 15,000 live people at any given time when he's doing his videos. But drop in your guesses, guys. Yes, Red is saying Ebix is going to be his best performing stock of the week. Let's go. I love it. Put your answers in there. Again, look at that. Nobody's even doing inappropriate stuff. That's good. Normally we get some curse words in here or some, phallic symbols. But it's somebody's asking a clarifying question. Is it percentage change from Monday to close on Friday? No, it's going to go from right now. It's going to go the price from right now ish, right? Maybe 5 minutes from now when we close the voting through this time on Friday, guys. So you got to Tuesday to Wednesday to Thursday to Friday. And more important than the free merch that you're going to get from swag.benzinga.com, you are going to get bragging rights. Everybody in the chat that we hang out with every single day here in ZingerNation. I'm spamming the link in there a few more times. But everybody that we hang in here from ZingerNation will know you are the master stock picker. I'll get my guess in there. I haven't fully decided what it's going to be yet. Yeah, it is. I know what mine's going to be. I'm not going to type it yet because this is the stock that I'm going to be pitching later today before I hop off. But all right, drop it in. You've got like another 30 seconds to put it in. Okay. And then we're running out of time. We've got a good number of guessers this week, guys. Da 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 da. Can you use a crypto? Yes, you can put in a crypto if you want to put in a crypto. Da 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 da. No, soundboard is not on, Spencer. Oh, it's on. All right, hold on. I do have a sound for this. Nope, it's not on. All right, that's all right. We tried. Da, 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 da. All right, guys. Oh, there it is. All right, check this out. I've got the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire theme. Classic show of the 1000. All right, I'm calling it. If you don't have it in, I'm sorry. It's too late. We're turning it off. There's the chat challenge, guys. Again, we will be checking in on this every single day. The winner gets whatever they want from swag.benzinga.com. Plus, more importantly, they get the bragging rights. Anybody who's on this can view it. We'll get the prices in there. Boom. There it is. Chat challenge closed. All right. And without further ado, guys, I want to bring our first guest of the day on the stream with us. Favorite of the chat, joins us every single week. Nice little drum roll for him. Nick, what's up, man? You are here live with us. You are on mute. So if you're going to try to talk, we're not going to hear you right away. You're working on it. Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. All right, man. What's up? What's up?
Nothing much. How about you guys?
Doing well. Let's see. Let me check the live portfolio again. Let's see. So we're down $500 today. Obviously not good. Would rather be green. But if we compare that to SPY, and SPY is down 0.5%, so we're still outperforming SPY. If you look at the triple Qs, what's that down? 2%. Oh my God. If you look at the small caps are up a little bit, so that's probably what's saving our portfolio. We own a decent number of small cap stocks, but I don't know. Down $500. Not ideal. Would rather be up $500. Would rather be up $5,000. But any day that we're outperforming the market is an okay day for me. That's how I think about it.
That is very true. That is very true.
All right, guys. And if you guys don't know Nick, you haven't tuned into previous episodes, he's here from Bull Trade Finder. He is a swing trader. He loves to pull up charts. He loves to give us new tickers we haven't thought about. A lot of these stocks are smaller stocks. They're lower float stocks. I know a lot of you guys are always asking for some of these small, low float stocks, and today's probably a good day with small caps leading the market. But Nick, what's on the radar today?
I'll share the screen right now. Give me one moment. It's gonna be you can see the screen, correct?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So it's gonna be the same as usual. I'm always gonna come back to FLNT. Gave this to everyone at around 450, explained why. Fundamentally, it's a very
make your screen even bigger. Hold on. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Wait, can you zoom in on this? It's still sort of small. I don't know if it's possible for you to zoom. Make it bigger. I did not notice any change.
Let's see. Better?
Yeah, that's better. Wait, what happened with IPOF? Something happened right now. It looks like. If anybody knows what happened to IPOF right now, drop it in the chat. The stock, it's a SPAC. It just went from 1550 to 1750. It's one that I own. Do you know news on it? I don't see any news right now. I got warrants. Let's go. Let's run up the cash register on that one. If anybody follows along the live portfolio, they've got warrants on that thing too. Let's go IPOF. But all right, Nick, sorry. I cut you off. You're just about to give us Fluent. What's up with that one?
Same as usual, just giving it out. Continued growth quarter over quarter and year over year for the earnings. And, the chart is starting to really break out here. All
right, so you have a lot of lines on this chart.
Yes.
And again, guys, the ticker is FLNT. That's Foxtrot, Lima, November, Tango. So which lines should we be looking at here? And what time horizon is this chart?
Yeah, this is a daily chart. I just added, a couple of these lines the other day, especially this one. And this one bases off I'm going to zoom it out just for a second here, off top wicks going even farther back. As you can see, this one, and, now this one. And you could see we're kind of currently for the day closing under that if the market would close right now. So you can see this is a resistance, trend line above here. So an area you want to see break out for a positive move to 9 to 10 would be this 840 to 850 range. And this one I put down here as support. And the reason why is I think it was the same thing. Bottom wick, just a different way of seeing it. As you can see, it kind of resisted and closed under it here, resisted here, and obviously supported on these two other than the wicks. So, it's just another way of seeing it there. And the rest of the lines have been here since, a few months ago. You want to see a breakout of 850 here. I told everyone about the stock at around $4.50 to $5. And I'm still going to continue to hold until we see that 15 to 20 that I've been saying for the past couple of weeks and months.
Okay. And so let's talk about this one. So I'm not in this stock now. If I were, I guess, given somebody in my position who's not currently in it, would you say, okay, go ahead, take a position in this one? Would you wait for a pullback? What are we looking at?
So what you want to look for here is a pullback to the $7.80 to $8 range. Now, if it goes the other way and if it continues up, you want to start a position on the 850 break. Just a small position. So if it does indeed dip down under that, you could add more, but that would just be the breakout entry, and the support entry is that 780 to 8.
Okay.
And I believe
right.
Jason has this one. I believe he joined me and Ripster around the 6s range.
Ripster gave us some good stocks on fire. Did you watch that one?
Yes.
I want to get into one of those. MREO. I didn't get in it yet. Maybe we'll talk about that.
I'm a big fan of Ripster. He's a good guy.
All right, let's look at that chart. MREO. That's one of the ones that Farm DCA on Twitter and Ripster gave us last week. The stock moved as they were pitching it. So they called it right on. But you give me your technical analysis of this one. Because again, I'm more fundamental. I like to use technicals to help my entries and exits.
I think this is pretty good here. Let me just change this up a second.
All right.
For a dip buy, I would look for this 420 to 425 range. So basically, 15 cents from where we are currently at the 437. And I'm going off the top wick here and the bottom wick of this one and the closing wick of this one. I mean, the closing candle of this one. And you can see, there's been past resistance in that area, which is now acting as support. So that's why I'm saying that number. If it goes lower, I don't know where you'd want to really stop it on this one. I mean, that's the only area I'd see is a good starter. I would probably stop it at 4 if it breaks under truly, because the next area is around that 375 to 380 range.
All right, so that's interesting. All right, so again, let me recap. Would you be, if I need to build a position because I'm not in the thing yet, would you say now is an opportune time to start building that position?
Yes, you could. Try to see if it gets to that 425 again. But yes, if you really wanted to build a position, you could definitely start one at this 437 area.
437. Okay. All right. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So there's the one on. So we just talked about 2 stocks that we've already talked about on this show. So we talked about MREO. We just talked about FLNT as well. That's one that you pitched us last week. But the point of the show is trade ideas. That's what I promise people. I say, if there's one thing you're going to get out of this show, it's going to be sound effects on my soundboard. And 2, it's going to be new trade ideas. That's what we're trying to deliver every day. So do you have a new stock for us?
Yeah, I got 2. Everyone knows these stocks. These are some bigger market cap stocks here. And we're going to go with Fubo, Fubo.
Okay.
And the reason
Fubo.
why
Shout out Fubo. I'm not in that one yet.
The reason why I like this one is obviously they're growing. They're definitely growing. They're acquiring gambling companies and stuff like that. So it's interesting that they're getting into that field. So it's a streaming / gambling, I guess you could say stock. And reason I like it here is you could kind of see this, pretty crazy rounded bottom here. And then possibly a handle or at least just a mini channel setting up here. And I'm buying around this 40 to 42 entry. And I'll even, keep buying if it drops down to 35. And I want to build a long-term position here. So I've started buying shares for the long term, looking for possibly, at least an all-time high break of around 62 by the end of the year, as well as possibly even going to 100.
So what on this chart is giving you the bullish indication? Because again, I'm not a professional at technicals, right? But I see that downward channel, and that doesn't seem great to me. Correct.
Now, like I said, what I really like about it is that it kind of has this rounded, bottom, and it could be forming basically a cup and handle, this being the handle part. And, we're right near some major supports as well as the bottom of the channel. So that's why I'm only starting a position here. And I'm looking longer term for January 2023 calls. So basically 2 years out. And
Wow, so
January.
you're way out on this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm willing to hold this for a long time. I think this could be a big play, just like Roku was with the streaming and everything.
Yeah, that was such a hot one. Roku was counted out as dead for so long, and it's yeah. I mean, it's an amazing story, right? They got integrated into all those TVs. It comes built into everything, and
True.
that just got the stock running.
Yeah, true. I mean, there's a lot of things going on with the streaming, and especially with the gambling. It's very interesting that they're doing that as it's becoming legal in all these states. So that's another big reason why I think this is going to be a great play for the long term. And, even just that, their subscribers, their revenue, their earnings, they're really like growing here if you look at their past quarters. So it's definitely something to look into.
All right. And let me just throw an update for the chat really quick, guys. If anybody's in Ford with me, again, Ford, that was my 2021 stock of the year that I pitched back in December. Still own it, still own calls, still own shares. $12 here. Why don't you pull up the Ford chart for us? Give us a reading on that one. It seems like $12 has sort of been where the stock's been having a tough time. It got close to it. It was creeping up there. It just looks like it got rejected off that price. But I'm curious from your technical perspective, what you think about Ford.
You could have like possibly an ascending triangle here, which is a bullish setup. And, that's what I could see possibly forming right here. And you would obviously want to see the breakout of that like 1215, 1220.
Yeah, I thought I was going to do it. It was making a run. It looks like it got tripped up a little bit. We'll see if it makes another run today.
Yeah, today it's been doing good, it seems. You're getting close to the end of that ascending triangle, so a move could be happening within the next week or so. So, just a break over that 1220 could definitely set you higher. And if I remember, I looked at this a while ago. Let's see.
Ford is showing its first sign of life since like basically a decade.
Oh yeah,
I don't know how far back you can go on your charts, but if you can go back like 15 years, it's showing a sign of life. And again, the thesis on Ford is that they've signaled to us that we already know that they're going to be making a big push for their EVs this year. They already told us that they've signaled at least that they're going to be spending a ton of marketing on promoting themselves as an EV company, and I want to get some of that EV energy into this stock. So that's what I'm looking for on Ford.
That could be really good. And if you can see this, I know it's a little far out here, but it on my terms at least of what I see, I believe this broke out of a basically 20-year downtrend.
Yeah, exactly. I said it's showing the first sign of life in a decade.
Yeah. I mean, it broke out of this, what it seems like to me, and you could definitely see some upside here getting into that $15, $18 range. Kind of reminds me of BlackBerry. I got this at around $6. Oh, hold on. Let me fix this.
Are you still in BlackBerry?
I am not, but I am looking for a possible entry. I think they're...
Yes, let's go.
Yeah. I think they're, the reason why I got in at around that 67 range was because their business and where they're going now. I didn't get in because of the pump from GameStop and all that stuff. I know that definitely, helped this chart, but I was in at around, I think this candle actually truly, somewhere around here in this 7 range. And I sold it around 15 and then like 20. And I am looking to buy around the 9 to 10 range. So we are, basically there. I could possibly get an entry on that.
All right, start some accumulation.
Yeah, but what I wanted to show you is, basically the same thing. It broke out of a, basically yearly downtrend again. And, you saw where it went. Obviously, it got help, but, it definitely broke out. Okay.
All right. So BB, and then do you have another one for us? Do you have a swinger for us? A nice swing trade for us?
Okay, I have a swing trade, but I do have another long term here in Palantir, which is one everyone knows, especially off this major volume.
All right. Yeah. If you guys own Palantir, throw me the one in the chat. That's a favorite of the chat. I'm not in that one right now. Actually, I am. Mm-hmm. You know what? Sort of synthetically. I've sold puts against Palantir.
Okay. That's good.
Let me see I don't even remember what strikes. All right, you talk about the stock. I'll figure out what strikes I sold puts against that one
Yeah.
for.
So it hit this major support from months ago. Basically, it's a big range here. I have the green rectangle here showing the support, the demand zone, at around 25, 24. And that's, a big area. And you can see we had a bullish abandoned baby setup right here. The red candle, the gap down, and then the green candle coming all the way back up. And a good buying area is around the 27.50 to 28 range, and even going into calls into 2023 and 2022. Again, just like Fubo, basically.
All right. In my trade on Palantir, so let's see. What are we doing on this trade? So all right, so we've got an unrealized profit of 15%, which for an option trade is not much. But what we did is we sold, and what was the price on these? $225. So we sold the February 26th $29 strike puts for $2.25. So basically what happens when we do that is we get $225 credited to our account right away. So we sell the puts, we get that $225. And as long as the price of Palantir is above $29 by February 26th, we're fine. We keep the $225 per contract. We walk away. We throw the cash into something else. If the price of Palantir drops below that, right? Let's say it's trading at 20. I'm forced to buy the stock at $29. So that's the risk I'm taking on in order to get that cash. I only do this in stocks that I'm okay holding for the long term. Palantir is one of those names I'm okay holding on to for quite a while. So my break even on the trade is 26.75. So that's 29 minus 225. Anything above 26.75, I'm making money on with Palantir.
Yeah. And, this is a pretty good stock. They have a lot of government contracts. They have a lot of contracts in general. And as you've seen, I know Jason probably talked about it. Kathy has been loading a lot. She bought about 8 to 10 million shares over these two candles right here. The past
Drove
2
the
days.
price up. She flipped me from negative to positive on those puts. Let's go, Kathy Wood.
Yeah.
Move that stock.
Yeah, Kathy is, a monster in this industry right now.
Yes.
And she really loaded up here. I've never seen, a big share, a share increase from her like that. And she basically bought 8 to 10 million shares in a 2-day period. So that also gives some confidence to me in this trade as well.
Yep. And I asked the question to ZingerNation. I said, drop in the chat a 1 if you're long Palantir. We got a lot of people long Palantir. Everybody likes this stock. It's and Palantir, actually, the other news on this one, and this is sort of news, sort of not news, but the other news on this one is that it replaced GameStop as the most mentioned stock on Wall Street Bets for the first time in like a month. It was GameStop every single day was the most mentioned stock for about a month or so. And then Palantir took that crown away, I believe, last Friday. Maybe it was Thursday. So there's the deal on Palantir.
Yeah. And if you want a small swing trade, I'm going to go back.
Yeah, give us the swinger.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the one that I told you guys last week. ITP, so a little more risky.
Yeah. All right, let's see it. Producer Rohan was talking about, so he's like, I want some swingers this weekend, and so I didn't have any for him, so let's get it.
Yeah, so it's a little more risky. A good entry is actually around here. And a sell point, I believe I told you guys the sell point was around 110. I want to move that down to around like 107. And last time I was on, I told everyone, a good area to buy was around 120, 125. So we're basically, right at that area. Now you can get it a little cheaper. You could see it's holding this trend line that I drew this morning, actually. And we whipped under it. And the volume of selling has went down, on these 2 days. This day we had some buying pressure and we, increased the volume. And today it's basically, just sitting down there. And I think this one's going to move up, this week. I'm looking for a push over 140, 150. And people are.
Wait, Nick, you got to rewind.
So that's something.
Wait, Nick, you got to rewind like 30 seconds. We lost you. You sounded like a robot, and now you're back. You said ITP, I'm bullish on the stock. I think you're about to give
Okay.
us a price target and then a stop.
Okay. 140 to 150 is the price target. And I've seen a lot of people talk about possible mask news that they've had, and they were supposed to send it out mid to late February. So, that's another reason why I'm in this, to see if that rumor is true. But the chart isn't really bad here, and the trend line is holding very well. So I'm going to keep that position until we break under around 107.
All right. So there it is. So 107 is where you would stop out. So if you
Right.
buy a position now, the stock price gets to 107. In Nick's opinion, that's when you get out of it. And what's the price you're looking for on the upside?
140 to 150.
Okay.
And the entry being, this 115 to 120 level.
All right. And let's talk about managing the trade a little bit.
Okay.
So let's say it gets up to that 140, 150 price that you're looking for. Then what do you do? And in my opinion, when I have a stock that's working with me, it's playing out. I let the momentum ride. I'll maybe take a little bit of cash off the table because you can't control it, after hours. If there's news that comes out, you get an offering, etc. But other than that, I just keep moving those stops up and let the trade ride. Because you don't know when that momentum is going to crack, and we are in such a momentum-driven market right now.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. Here's what I would probably do is take off 25 to 50% at around that 140 area, and then move that 107 stop up to around 125. And then, if it falls down to 125, you still make profit on the remaining shares, or even move it to 130. So, the reason why I'm getting this 130 is the close of the open of this candle, the basically close of this candle and kind of the wick of this one, acts as possibly a resistance right now, but will act as a support later. And the 125 is, basically the same thing, this middle part right here, where there's openings, closings, and wicks. So, that's where I'm getting these numbers from. But yeah, I'd probably sell 25 to 50% at 140 to 150, and then stop it at 125, 130 for a profit if it, does go down to that level.
All right.
Mhm.
There it is. All right, Nick. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the ideas. Again, let's run through them. So we had ITP, PLTR, FUBO, and then what was the last one? Fluid, FLNT.
Yep.
There we go, guys. We promise the trade ideas. I always say at the top of every single show, if we're not delivering the trade ideas, call us out because we want to bring them. And I'm actually about to pitch a stock in just a second here, a new stock I'm adding to the portfolio today. So there's your ideas.
Yep.
Thanks, Nick, for coming and hanging out with us.
Yep. Thank you, Luke. Have a great day.
All righty. You too. So, all right, guys, but before I get to this new stock pick that I'm going to pitch in a second here, I'm going to give you a preview. Actually, I'm going to ask a question and then give a preview. The question is, we talked about IPOF. Let me pull this chart up real quick. IPOF, not that Tesla chart. That's ugly. IPOF, rip in. I've got warrants in this one. If it would be helpful to do a lesson in warrants, we did one maybe a month ago or so, but if it would be helpful to do a lesson in warrants, drop the 1 in the chat. If you don't need it, drop the 2. And if we get a lot of ones, we'll do that one tomorrow. And then coming up today, 2 more guests on the Power Hour, baby. That's right. 2 more guests joining the Power Hour. We're going to have Meet Kevin is going to be joining us, then Tom Nash. So we are going to be flying. And then later today, stay tuned. We're going to be doing an options lesson here at 2 p.m. sharp. 2:30, we're going to be doing biotech. I believe that Vivi, our biotech queen, has a new stock for us. And holy crap, those are a lot of ones for warrants. All right, guys. So tomorrow we're doing a warrant lesson. We're going to take 10, 15 minutes tomorrow. We're going to go over warrants, how they work, the mechanics of them, what exactly it is you're paying for. So if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We'll be talking warrants tomorrow. And Jason, I see that you've joined us here. What's up, man?
Yeah, and we have our guest here too, Luke. So we don't want to
yeah?
make him wait. We don't want to make him wait. He's the man of the honor, the man of the hour, man of the day, man of the year.
Well, you made ZingerNation wait a whole hour for you, but okay, if the guest doesn't have to wait, that's fine.
Yeah, I gotta change my number so my wife can't find it as much. That's my new thing. So, all right, can we bring him on?
Yeah, let's bring him on.
All right,
I'll let you two run with it.
Oh, I gotta do my graphic. I have this new graphic. I gotta do it. Special guest. All right. Where do I do? There it is. Hold on 1 second. Goodbye, Luke. Okay. Kevin, are you there? Can you hear me?
Hey, I can hear you. What's up? Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh no, you're the man. I mean, it's funny. I think the way that I originally maybe came across you is someone using your name to like build their YouTube SEO, like saying how Meet Kevin does his video. And then like, I guess you may teach that in your video course. Is that a thing? Does that make sense what I'm
I
talking
mean,
about?
hey, it's amazing. I was even looking yesterday at this really cool computer building company, Artesian, over on Twitch, and they do these computer builds. And one of the things they're doing is, if you look at their portfolio and sort by the most popular videos, the most popular ones are where they're like, us building our computer for this creator live, and basically putting somebody else's name in the title. And those videos just go right to the top. They do so well. People are like, oh, I want to see that person's computer get built. It's so brilliant. But yeah, I mean, totally. You know, as soon as people see a name they're familiar with, initially, people get defensive over the creators they like, oh, well, what's this person going to say about this person I watch? Like, what do they know that I don't know? And yeah, it's a really interesting Trojan horse, I call it.
Yeah, I hear you. Now, something I always wanted to ask you, behind you. So those are 4 monitors.
Yep.
And there's like a visual image of these whatever things you like.
They work.
Basically.
It's just, this is my iMac right here. And so I actually, I got like Photoshop right here, and I can put up like Weeble on the side if I wanted to. This is just my actual desktop and that. But yeah, they're just little screens here. So that way it cleans up the desktop, because nobody wants to show off their desktop.
I hear you. So it's like a screen that you just have on there with no sleep or whatever. Yeah, I think
exactly. Sleeps off.
I think people have wanted, and I recall you're in your garage, right?
So I've got 2 sets. I've got one in the garage, and then one in what used to be the dining room of this house, which is this right here. So this is inside.
Why'd you move into the dining room? It got cold or something, or are you just tired of the garage?
No, I started in this dining room because it had a spot where somebody could have put like what's that thing called where you put all your glassware or whatever, like a cupboard spot.
Yeah,
I turned that into a closet.
Okay.
And then we just closed off this room. And so it really works as almost like a downstairs bedroom in this house where the floor plan is. And then there's the formal living room on the opposite side. We don't use a formal dining room. So we turned this into another room in the house. And it's small. It's like 9 by 12 or something like that. But yeah, I mean, the whole set's in here and it's perfect. And then I put a couple massive doors on so I can't hear the kids screaming.
Oh, you did put a couple massive doors on. That's good. I have
1,000 pounds each.
Oh my God. I have kids too. When I'm at home, right now I'm in the office. My setup isn't good where I'm sitting, but I have 11, 9, and 4-year-old. And they don't seem to want to get quiet when you're broadcasting. You have 2 kids, I think?
Yeah, I have 2. I have 5 and 3, and I used to just have one of these doors. It's like this. It's like one of these big, thick doors, and like when you close it, you hear like the air vacuum. It's great. And I could still hear a little bit of like that shrill screaming when they scream. So I put a second door. So one opens in, one opens out. I don't hear anything anymore.
That is crazy. And then do they try to come in the room at all?
They can't open the door.
They can't open the door. Very, very smart. Very smart. Okay, enough on that. Now, I don't know if this is how you got your start. We're going to get to that in a second. But the one thing I'm sad by is we're based in Detroit, Michigan. And I watched you and Graham Stefan like a couple of years ago. You came here to look at houses. Before doing Benzinga, I used to buy houses in the city called Old Redford. It's like on the neighboring, it's Detroit, but it was like Old Redford. And I would buy either flip or rent out a bunch of houses. And it was just the area. And I know you guys went on that tour. I was like, darn, I should have been one show. So how long ago was that? And what brought you to Detroit?
Yeah, that was, I think, the summer of 2019. And we went out to Detroit actually because Graham was doing it was one of the first confrontings that he did. He would always do these millennial money reaction videos, And then one of the people's like, hey, I'm in Detroit. Why don't you come out and confront me? And he's a hairdresser. He's got a salon that he owns. And he's got fancy cars and stuff. So we went out and met him in person and, did a video there for Graham's channel. And then we thought, hey, while we're here, why don't we tour real estate? And so we hit up some agents and they're like, hey, well, we have like $1 homes basically where you just pay the taxes on. We're like, oh wow, like can you give us a tour? And so we kind of just documented what the tour was like with the different agents that we met. And yeah, I mean it's some parts very sad, some parts you see a lot more promise in. Like the downtown's gotten freaking awesome. So
It's crazy. One person just wrote, I have many thanks to Kevin. I have 5 properties and 3 times my stocks in the last 12 months. I'm so thankful. So he just wrote that in there. So now how did you? Yeah, it's amazing. How did you get your start, Kevin? I mean, you probably don't love talking about yourself, but this is your time. We got here. How did you get your start?
Oh, thank you for that. Yeah, I mean it all really started with real estate. I give everything to real estate. A lot of people bag on real estate as, real estate appreciates slower or whatever. But the big move for me in real estate is the fact that, look, I was able to buy a place for 3.5% down with basically no money and no income, which is insane. I'm like, okay, Lauren, somehow, even if SHIT hits the fan, we have to figure out how to come up with $1,900 a month to be able to pay our mortgage. And then at least we'll get to move out of Lauren's parents, which was actually really exciting. We're like, yeah, we'll each work 2 jobs if we need to make this payment. But anyway, yeah, we while I was working at Red Robin and Lauren was working at Red Robin as well, and she's getting started with property management. I just got my real estate license, hadn't closed the deal yet. I'm like, well, probably the best way to get started in real estate is buy what I'm trying to sell people. So I thought that was the best way to validate what I was doing, was just go through the process myself, and was able to find a fixer-upper.
Did you have money then?
Well, Lauren and I had about $8,000 to $9,000 each saved up, and that was all from minimum wage jobs from Red Robin, Jamba Juice, Hollister, or whatever. And we just.
How old were you?
I was 19 years old. Lauren was 20. I threw my savings into Apple stock. Lauren kept it in cash, and so I grew my money a little bit faster. Actually, a lot faster, because I probably only made $4,000 to the $9,000 she made, because she had worked a year and a half more than I had. She's a little bit older than I am, but I caught up to her with Apple stock.
Yep. Okay. And so that was, you were living at Lauren's parents' house at the time?
Yeah, I was living with Lauren's parents. I met her in Paris on a high school trip. And then we were long distance for a year, and I moved out to California, went to high school out here, then got my real estate license while going to college out here. And that's how it all started. It was kind of crazy just how it all in this weird way aligned, but it kind of all fell together.
That's crazy. I mean, this is about you, but the thing that's similar to me in this sense, when I started Benzinga, I had a 3-month-old baby, and I had no money saved. I built the first site for $2,000 or $3,000, but I would wake up every night at 3 a.m. with the most anxiety you could ever imagine, my heart beating, whatever people with bad anxiety get, I was there. And my wife would say to me, Jason, stop worrying so much. If worse comes to worse, we'll just move in with her parents. Now, I was an undergrad graduate from the Michigan Business School. I had a job offer, a division of Goldman Sachs. I didn't take. I was doing this other startup back then. Yeah. After college, but now in 2009, when I started Benzinga in 2010, I was waking up at 3 a.m. with the craziest anxiety. And my wife just said, hey, if it doesn't work out, you move in with the in-laws. And so at the time, that wouldn't be victory. And so that didn't really help me, but it did help a little bit. And then you did it. You were in with the in-laws before you bought your first property. So it didn't turn out so bad, I guess, right?
Yeah, and the thing then, too, was I moved to California when I was 17, so I didn't have a choice to be independent beforehand. I think if I were in your situation where I was already living alone, the thought of moving in with my in-laws would have been pour acid on me, So,
yep.
I think that, but that probably helped you, got you motivated,
Yep. They want to know what did you do at Rob? Yeah, it did keep me motivated. Yeah, the anxiety, that I got over. But what'd you do at Red Robin? They want to know.
Oh yeah, I went in. They promised that I would become a server, within 30 days, they promised me I would be a server, that I was perfect to be one of their servers. Promised me a server job, but I needed to start as a host for 30 days. I'm like, okay, no problem. 3 months went by, and I'm like, what the HE double hockey sticks? I'm still a host. Like, what are you doing? And they're like, okay, well, we don't have room for servers right now. We don't have the hours. Here, we'll put you in the kitchen, and you can be an expediter. So I did that and bus tables, and then 3 more months of that. And I'm like, okay, like, yo, this is ridiculous. Like, I need to become a server now, or else I'm leaving. By the way, I just got my real estate license, and I'm leaving if you don't promote me to be a server. And the manager, never forget, Davis. Oh, Davis, man, if you're listening, I still love you, but that was I actually have to thank him for that. But yeah, he sat me down and said, hey, real estate man, look, you're not going to make it out there. You got it good here. You're on the schedule 4 times this week. You're going to make $900 this month. You're doing really well. Times are tough out there. You're not going to make it in real estate. Like, you got it good here. Sorry, we can't promote you. And I quit the next day.
We need to get Davis on, man. We need to talk to Davis, right?
Confronting my old boss. Oh,
yes.
Man, that'd be sick.
Yeah, I tried to do that. Kevin O'Leary, who ice cream manager, that made him lick or pick up gum on the floor with ice cream, with a spoon or whatever.
Oh, I haven't heard that story.
Oh, yeah,
my gosh.
He was working in the mall at some ice cream place, and the manager made him take a spoon to get gum off, and they tried to track her down for like a CNBC segment, but but whatever. So yeah, that's like a sort of some. Have you talked to Davis since you become what you become, or no?
No, never. But that would be really interesting if CNBC tracked that person down. Yeah, picking the gum up off the floor, it kind of reminds me of Disney. That's like the only place I see where they walk around and pick up gum off the floor.
Yeah, or Benzinga will track down Davis. We got our guys. We'll go track him down.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So your first real estate deal. So you got your real estate license. You and Lauren find a place, and you had a little bit saved up. So how much was the place? Like, what that deal look like? Because you didn't. Well, I guess you had some W-2 income, right? Because you were working at those places, so you were able to get.
Yeah, none of it qualified.
Oh, none of it qualified.
So no,
okay.
I had. We were just too new, too young. We had good credit, but we couldn't qualify income-wise. So we did an FHA loan, and we're like, we really want to buy this house. This is such a good deal. How are we going to do it? How are we going to swing it? And we realized with an FHA loan at the house was listed for like $288,000, 2 cash offers on it. I'm like, I don't want to miss out on this. I'll just pay $305. And if somebody pays $1 more than me, fine, they can have it. But I'll pay $305. I want the deal. I got the deal. And the way we qualified is we used the Bank of America. It was a Bank of America foreclosure. So we used Bank of America as our lender, which was a disaster. But hey, they got it done eventually. But anyway, we did 3.5% down FHA. And we asked my father to co-sign. So he put no money up. We gave him 1% in the property for free. So I was 49%, he was 1%, and Lauren was 50%. And basically, we found the deal. We had the money for the deal. We were making the payments on the deal. All we needed to do was basically trick the lender to let us into the house, which is totally legal. FHA allows you to do a non-occupant co-borrower, so it's not like we were breaking any rules. And we just took advantage of the rules that exist, which still exist today. And we're like, cool, we can use his income and his low debts to basically make us qualify with no income. And now all of a sudden, we're in this property. Our credit score skyrockets, our wealth skyrockets. I mean, we bought this $305,000 house in a $450,000 neighborhood. A year later, it was like a $550,000 house. Obviously, timing was great. We closed it in 2012, bottom of the market. Market shot up in 2013. So the timing worked out beautifully. But the big thing for us was we just need to get in. Like, we will do whatever we need to get into a deal, and we'll make it happen. We'll find whatever loophole it takes. And so that's what we did. And that really started us on not only now having excellent credit, but the experience to where we could go do our second and third deal. But it also helped me sell more real estate because I was able to show people who were trying to do the same thing how to do the same thing. So that really helped me also explode my income and then actually like grow into affording the house that we technically couldn't afford.
Right. I mean, and that's what's amazing compared to the stock market versus real estate. Your $10,000 or whatever you can leverage by getting 90% loan to value or what have you, and then go make. Yeah. I mean, my first house, I had no money, and I got a loan where they give you back cash for home improvements, and I was like,
yes, that's what we had too.
Yeah, I made $40,000 on it, and then this was when it was quick in that old Redford area. But then later, when mortgage requirements changed, then I had a whatever. But the question, so you did this house, and then you did a lot more. Like, did you do multifamilies? Did you do mostly single families?
Almost exclusively single family. I mean, look, you could have bought anything 8 years ago and it'd double in value, but in a multifamily, interestingly, when you're looking at the market, it's very, very competitive. You're looking at maybe 4 units, 2 units, 3 units, 4 units. You're usually up against 50% investors, 50% home buyers. So you have more savvy competition. You don't get a good discount for old paint and carpet. You get a good discount if the rents are low, but it's harder to get a good deal on multifamily. You really have to be good at knowing the rents. If you could get something off market, great, do it. But with single family, like 90% of your competition is made up of clueless home buyers who are like, oh, that place stinks. I don't like that. And you could just go in and put new paint and carpet in, and all of a sudden you're buying the worst house on the street, putting $20,000, $30,000 into it, and all of a sudden you're par value with the other guys for $120,000 more in equity.
Got it. And the one thing about you're very open. You're open to probably to your wife's dismay with all the stuff you give and numbers and all that. Or people are like shocked you probably give all this stuff. They may think you're bragging, but I don't think you are. I think you're just trying to show people how you do your things. And we're going to talk about a couple of trades. We're going to actually talk about Tesla because I know we both like it, but I'm like hedging a little bit, and I think we should talk about that because I've owned Tesla since like as long as whatever. But in real estate wise, how many like houses do you end up buying, or approximately? Like, do you still own these houses? Is a lot of the management stuff, or just like trying to get a day in the life of like what you've been up to? I know you're doing a lot more stock stuff now, but I'm just trying to figure out on the real estate side.
Ironically, the real estate is half the portfolio. It's less day-to-day entertaining because there's actually less to do in real estate once your properties are rented out. It's surprisingly simple. It still takes your brain power to pay attention to, obviously, your investments, but I've only ever sold one house, a flip that I did. I regret selling that house. I wish I kept it. I wish I never sold any real estate because the selling fees are ridiculous.
Wow.
But yeah, we own everything, and I see it as a good hedge to my stock portfolio. So if the stocks go down 30%, whatever, real estate's, hopefully still okay. And even if that goes down 50%, I don't care. I'm not forced to sell it.
So, and do you have like a management company that like deals with tenants and things? And
Lauren. My wife does that.
Are all the houses near you guys?
All within 30 minutes.
Got it. And you just kept them all like, and you weren't buying $40,000 houses. You're buying a little bit more expensive houses and then fixing them up.
$400,000 to $700,000. Yeah.
And you rent them out and you get long-term. That's great. That's great. And then that's something you have. And then eventually your mortgage gets paid down. It's nice cash flow.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, to me, I think it's shocking that you could put money into a property, basically lock in this 30-year interest rate. If inflation happens, you pay off your debt faster. Your debt is worth less. Over time, rents trend up. Even through market cycles, rents tend to trend up.
If inflation happens, you pay off your debt faster. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so a little convoluted the way I said that. So basically, the more inflation happens, the less valuable my debt is. And the way you could pay it off faster is because you generally get paid more when inflation happens. Yep. So, but the debt doesn't go up. If interest rates go up, inflation goes up, the debt is still the same. So, you look at anybody who owns real estate from like 1990, and they still have their mortgage from 1990 or like 1980. Like maybe not 1980, those are paid off by now, but 1985 or whatever. Those are like the cheapest dollars ever. They say we've never paid off our World War II debt, but that even if we still have it, it's like 0.5% of our actual national debt right now because just old debt becomes less valuable over time. So, people get very caught up in, oh my gosh, but I looked at this statement and it says, this is how much interest I'm going to pay over the life of the loan. Can't think like that. Well, first of all, it's nominal what you're paying, 3-4%. And looking at in today's dollars, what the life of the loan's interest payments are going to be is the total opposite of an understanding of the time value of money. It's a massive mistake. And a lot of people dissuade themselves from getting into real estate because they're fearful of paying a bank interest. Honestly, the bank doesn't even care about your interest. The bank is securitizing your loan, and some dude in Sweden is getting your interest anyway in the form of a mortgage-backed security. Bank doesn't care if you pay it off early.
No, you're right. And so are you still buying houses then?
Yeah. I just closed on a deal that I moved my dad into. Right before that, I closed on a deal I moved my mom into. Mom was in Park City, dad was in Germany, so they're both within 4 minutes now, which is kind of cool. So the kids get to see both sets of grandparents now.
And are there multiple bidders when you're bidding, or is it like you just find it before it goes on market and you have realtors?
A little bit of both. Like, it was the weirdest thing. The one my mom's in, I actually sent a text message to like 5 different agents. And I hadn't texted this one agent in over a year, but I just got this feeling like, oh, yeah, what about this person? I should send them a message. I texted her and I'm like, hey, by the way, do you have any properties that you want to sell? I'm looking to buy something pre-market, something I could fix up a little bit. And, maybe we can save some fees by not going on the market. And she literally texted me back in like 10 minutes. She's like, as a matter of fact, I do. like 10 minutes later, I was over at the property, or it might have been like 2 hours later. But anyway, same day I was at the property and I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Here's my offer. And we had a deal. And
I take it, this is off topic, but you don't buy buildings, I take it, like office buildings or with restaurants.
No. Yeah. There's out of my wheelhouse, not trying to bag on it, but no, yeah. Commercial. No, SBA laws. Wait, I did sell one more property, and that was a little commercial warehouse. I'm never gonna buy commercial real estate again.
Yep. There's a decent office building that's not on the market that just like I got word on in Detroit that has 2 restaurants that's all built out that I can move Benzinga into. I don't know if I want the headache. I don't know if I want it. Like, I'm gonna go look at it. But you can have 2 restaurants and you can make back a good portion of your buying with the rent of the restaurants. Obviously Corona has to go away. But maybe it's a deal. That's all I was saying.
Hey, maybe you get a Corona deal. I mean, now's the time to try to buy that stuff, right?
Yeah,
like if you're going to buy commercial.
Well, because we rent.
Seems like the time to do that.
Yeah, we rent right in downtown, right, like in the middle of downtown. So it's you probably So now we got to move. So you're doing the real estate, and then the Corona happens, and I feel like you got way more into stocks. I mean, you may have been into it for a while, but way more into the stock market. And some of the stocks that, you've talked about, I followed you in. I think one of them, what's one of the ones that you love? Switch what is it? There's
like
one
CCIV or GHVI?
Nope. I know that.
EXPI?
No, there's another one. It's not SPE. There's another one that you like that I bought.
Simon Property Group back in the day?
No, it's like it's a car one. It's a car related one.
Shift, SFT.
Yeah, SFT. So I own SFT, and we have this Benzinga Pro, and when I have it in my account, now I'm up 22% on it, and I was down like 8% on it. When I'm up 22%, and for so long, I had no idea why I owned SFT, and then I went to my Benzinga Pro account, went to my watch list, I go, I bought it because of Meet Kevin, and I didn't remember that I bought it. So I own it. It's up 22%. You love SFT, right?
Yeah, I do. No, SFT is one of those where they've got a team of executives that do not know how to answer or project properly for Wall Street analysts. They're just such a young company, and it's unfortunate, but Wall Street just isn't giving them any love at all. But when you look at their valuations and their fundamentals, they're so cheap compared to like a Carvana. And even like a novice fundamental analyst can compare Shift to Carvana and go, oh, damn. Yeah.
Yeah. No, one thing I didn't ask, you went from real estate to stocks. How did that happen? Because you weren't I don't know. Were you always just?
I've always been in stocks since I started with Apple when I was 18 years old. And it's just something that has always kind of been in the background more, retirement accounts or just as a sort of fund on the side, stock account on the side. It's never really been a high priority just because there were always so many real estate deals to buy. The pandemic, when it shifted things indoors and the stock market crashed, but the real estate market didn't, which I was covering once a week. We'd cover the real estate market in March and April. And I get all these hate comments like, Kevin, I know you're saying the market's not falling, but that's because you're a real estate agent. Of course, the market's not falling in your world. And I'm like, okay, whatever. The data says the real estate market's not falling. Videos are still there from back in March. And so I just kept buying real estate. I'm like, as soon as May rolled around, I told everyone in my real estate investor group, I'm like, hey, look, real estate, it's not falling. I'm going to go buy. And I bought like 8 properties after that moment there between May and August. And I'm really grateful I did because the market just kept moving up and up and up. Recently, I've slowed a little bit because prices have moved up. But yeah.
You're moving
Sorry.
fast, man. You move fast. I mean, that's people are your work ethic. Like, I mean, that's a lot of like going to look at the properties, due diligence on them. 8 properties. I mean, that's not something to sneeze at, you know?
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah. And I'm just saying, like, that's people buy 2 properties and you scaled it. So I do have a question. Your in-laws like shocked at you, by the way, and you and Lauren, are they?
I don't know. They're pretty close to us, so they've kind of seen all the transition. I think they could just probably are just happy for any kind of success that we've managed to have. Obviously, always hoping for continued growth and more success. But yeah, I think it's kind of weird just thinking like when they first met me, I just didn't even have a job.
I know that's like, and like parents will say, oh, I want my daughter or my son to meet a doctor or meet a lawyer or meet this. You didn't have a job. Lauren met you for who you are. You didn't have the meet Kevin celebrity. So this is like, they met you in the real world. Now it's still the real world, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Tesla. Can we move to Tesla for a second?
Let's do it.
So I know you've owned Tesla for a while. I own it because one of my friends got the first Tesla in Michigan, and he's the guy that just been talking about Tesla for years. Tesla is probably one of your bigger positions. Is that accurate?
The biggest, like 50% of the pie.
Are you doing anything to hedge it right now? If not, why not?
Yeah, no, and I just don't like shorting. So if I've got longs, I don't short, no puts, don't care. If it goes down, I'd rather have that liquidity that I would use hedging to buy the dip. And that's sort of my version of hedging is, hey, if it falls, I'll just take the extra cash I have and I'll buy it lower.
So you're not selling any shares right now or doing any of that? Like,
No,
you wouldn't
not
sell
a Tesla, no.
Because like an $800 out of the money call that you could sell is $25 right now. For the end of it's a high premium. Like you can take $2,500 if you sell one call, which is not worth it. Let's say you have 10,000 shares, you sell 10 calls, you can take $20,000. But if it hits $800 by March, then you're out the shares, but you don't want to sell any shares.
No, yeah, because not only am I I'll have the 20 grand or whatever it is, but what's gonna happen? Okay, so then I end up selling 100 shares of Tesla, and so 100 shares of Tesla that at say $800, that's $80,000. My gains on that are going to be at least 40 grand. So I'm going to be spending 20 grand on taxes. So I'm literally going to lose the premium I got by paying taxes on a stock that I really have no intention of selling. The taxes would just destroy any of the potential profit for me.
And then you could, and for me, for example, if I did that, then I would have less margin that I could borrow on. You know what I mean? Like to your point, if you sold the stock. And I didn't really do margin before, but then I started to, and the market goes up. Margin's your friend as the market goes up. Do you do margin ever?
Yeah, my goal is under 20%. Right now I'm probably about 25%, so I'm breaking my rule a little bit. But yeah, it's margin it can be scary. Like in September, I think I was like 35% margin, and the market was plummeting, and I'm like, oh man, it's one of those things where you definitely want to be careful, because when the market's going down and you have margin outstanding, you almost like freeze up and you don't buy the dips because you're worried about a margin call. So it's bad.
So is one of your things is you buy when they're dips, or it's a feel? Like when do you determine how you're going to buy?
Yeah, usually it'd be dip days. Like today, I mean, Enphase just keeps selling off, for example. I mean, Enphase right now is down 10.5% today. I mean, today's just a nasty, bloody sell-off of a day. I mean, Tesla, 740. I mean, we were jumping up and down. That Tesla was 785 last week. Like, oh my gosh, it's 785. We'll go buy the dip. And here it is at 740. And it's just like no sign of this sell-off stopping. I worry that this could be like the start of a potential correction in the market, because we're really on week 2 now of this bizarro land happening in the market. And who knows, maybe it's just a return to normal. Maybe we are in bizarro land. But you've got recovery up a bit today, like the airlines and the cruise lines here. But almost any tech, cannabis, energy plays, all of them are down hard today. And it's unfortunate because it's painful. But hey, you know what? Buy opportunities.
No, I mean, Kevin, the truth is every time that I've sold in these dips, it's been the wrong move. I mean, it's been the wrong move. You could have bought HubSpot or Twilio at like $100 in March. It's at 480. HubSpot, and I had Twilio since IPO. I sold some in March, and that's when I started getting back and trading and doing all these other, buying a lot of like the like the boating stuff, all the different, Prologic, whatever, whatever the jet ski manufacturer. I was like, I was mad.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then the Yetis and stuff. That was when people are like staying home and they're not going on vacation, so you need to buy boating stuff. But I was mad that I sold the Twilio. So every time I've sold, it's been wrong. So you look at it as a buying opportunity. How do you determine if you're gonna sell stock?
Yeah, I mean, so if things are really green, like 2 weeks ago, things were, it was like a week and a half ago, I think. A week and a half ago, things were pretty decently green in the market. And I was at about 26% margin. And I thought, okay, now's an okay time for me to maybe sell a little bit and just get my margin down. So I got it down to 20%. But then something else popped up. And of course, I spent that 6% again. So a little bit of a problem, but yeah, just keep buying stuff. But yeah, that's usually the only time I would sell something, is if I feel like I want to just protect myself a little bit more while things are green in the event that things start declining. That's the only reason. I will close out a position if I've just lost conviction in a stock. But yeah, usually my recommendation is don't sell, because we could be really good at getting buys, but really bad at timing exits. It's super, super common. And, everybody does it. Not something to feel bad about. It's something to just move on. But oftentimes what I found is when you've got that feeling like, oh my God, this stock is worthless. Like, oh, this sucks. This was the worst investment ever. That's usually that feeling that is actually telling you to buy, and it's so hard. But yeah, looking
Kevin,
back, it becomes very clear.
Kevin, I keep on my wallet or my phone, whatever, a screenshot. I sold Amazon shares. This is back 2001. There was a $2.10 commission with Prudential. I sold Amazon shares at $10 a share, like 400 shares,
man.
which I got, 4,000, which would be worth 3.1 million. And that was like, you're right on this stuff. The timing of these things, like I never sold Google, but I sold some of these other ones, which I never should have sold. Your point is, if you believe in the company, like I believed in Twilio, I should never have sold. But if you believe in the company, it's so hard to time sales. So hard, right?
Yeah, it's better to just wait for your next paycheck and then add. Actually, I'll tell you, one of the easiest ways to never get spooked into selling is when your favorite stock is plummeting, you buy a little bit. Even if you've got $1 million in a portfolio on a certain stock, and you see it plummeting, and it's like, oh my God, I'm losing so much money. Even if you just bought $500 of that stock, you mentally switch your brain into, damn, I got a good deal on those $500. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas, and it also like eradicates the feeling of wanting to sell.
That's good. What are there a couple, like, I know we talked about the auto one, but are there a couple favorite stocks of yours right now?
Yeah, probably my top right now is I love the Lucid merger. That's a big one I've been writing. I think one that's still underappreciated and it's got room is GHVI. It's the Matterport SPAC. I think that's a $30 to $40 stock. So that's an interesting one to me. Longs, I really like. My usual longs are things like Etsy, Enphase, the energy company.
What's a symbol?
EXPI.
What's a symbol for Enphase?
ENPH. It's down like 10% today, man. Today's a dip buy.
Well, maybe I should buy. So Enphase, you like ENPH?
Yeah.
169.66. This is like an Elon Musk type number.
There you go.
Okay. And you like this one because why?
Yeah, so Enphase has probably the highest margin in the energy business, and they supply microinverters for solar panels to a lot of private installers or smaller solar install companies. They also supply battery power walls, kind of like the Tesla Powerwall. So anybody who's not buying Tesla has a pretty good chance of ending up with an Enphase product. So to me, Enphase is a nice competitor to Tesla. So it doesn't surprise me that Enphase and Tesla kind of like trend up and down together. So it's not like you could use one to hedge the other. But I like Enphase. big competitor. I want to be in the energy space, high margin, high quality, great products, and just very high conviction on the company. This stock could go down to 100, and I'd have the same opinion about it. Like, it doesn't matter.
Will you
I
buy
love it.
will you buy call options on this kind of stock?
Yeah, I have calls. I'm not buying calls anymore at this point. I'd like to keep my options at less than 10% of my portfolio. Right now, I would just buy the options. And that's mostly, I'm sorry, I would just buy the shares. And that's mostly because even if I bought it like a long call, at some point, I'm going to have to realize those gains. At some point, I'm going to have to sell that contract, take my profits, hopefully take profits, and buy the shares. And so I'd probably rather just buy the shares now and margin a little bit if I wanted to.
All right, so we got ENPH. You mentioned CCIV. What were the other two? You meant your two other ones you're saying.
GHVI is the Matterport SPAC, the 3D scanning SPAC. That's
you love that
favorite.
one. And I love how you go in such detail on these positions. It's like, before you'd have to read like an analyst report from Goldman Sachs, but like you can just read the Meet Kevin report. That's what we're gonna put, like the Meet Kevin report. No, but you do heavy due diligence. I mean, do you spend like 10 hours on each of these things, each of these stocks, or more than that?
Yeah,
I guess.
When I did a Square analysis back when I bought that one, it was probably 7 hours. I mean, the deep dives take a lot of time. Usually people give me ticker symbols. Like, I've got a list of tickers right here. I'll spend like 20 minutes of initial due diligence on a stock. And if I just don't jive with it, I just go on to the next one. And when I find something that I really like, then I go, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours into it. Yeah.
Got it. Do you ever just buy stocks because there's someone that you trust that, is behind it?
No, I mean, I'll take an idea, like, if somebody's like, oh, I really like this, I'll totally go check it out. Yeah.
Yeah. I never heard of like Big Commerce, I guess, BIGC. It has earnings tonight, and people are like telling me this is like the Shopify competitor for enterprise. So I bought a few shares because they're saying like, Nabisco, all these like enterprise companies have moved to it. It's a Shopify competitor for enterprise, BIGC. I didn't do heavy due diligence on it, but when I heard about it this weekend, I was out of town, and so I bought some stock in it, hoping the earnings will be strong today. Has this one ever come across your radar, BIGC?
No, never. It's a Japanese one or Chinese one?
I don't think so. Big Commerce is
Big Commerce. Okay, because if I type in Big C, I get the grocery and general merchandise retailer of Thailand.
So the symbol is Big C, and it's Big Commerce. It's in Austin, Texas. And I didn't do heavy due diligence on it at this point. It has earnings tonight, so I am buying it for a potential earnings pop, which I'm not advising anyone to do, but I'm just looking for the Shopify type competitor is one of those trades there. I like it. Then the same person gave me this other stock that I don't know if you ever look at that steaks, what's the one, STK. If you ever like STK Steakhouse, the symbol is not the symbol. The symbol is STKS. It's up 11% today. The same person gave me this stock and that other stock. STKS is the symbol. It's STK.
Oh, it's a recovery play. Yeah,
it's a recovery
all the
play.
restaurants are killing it today, man. I'm just not in the recovery plays at all. But yeah, I mean, geez, $161 million market cap. I mean, that can move just from us talking about it. But yeah, the recovery plays. Man, I wish I had some today, because today that's the only thing that's green. Jeez, it's so nice right now for recoveries.
Yeah. And so one of the questions that they ask about you is like, how do you do your research? And I know you've said it. You go around the web, you go to their investor sites. Is there more stuff to add? I mean, a lot of the stuff you guys are asking in the chat, I could ask Kevin, like they asked, what's your real estate? Like on his YouTube channel, guys, there's so many great videos. You can sit there and literally just get headphones on and listen for the next 3 days. And seriously, you'll be smarter than if you I went to the University of Michigan. You'll be smarter than if you went to the University of Michigan for 4 years. So some of these questions I'm not asking because he already has it on the site, and we only have limited time. Actually, we're already 7 minutes over. So that's, but Kevin, I know I just asked a question in there. I just asked, what are other ways you do your research?
Yeah, honestly, you guys pop up in the Bloomberg terminal all the time. Like, you guys are just all over that. You got some kind of contract with them, and it's awesome because you see the alerts really fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, everything.
Everything. That's what I figured. How long?
Yeah, like it could be Bloomberg, it could be you guys, it could be Wall Street Journal, it could be Barron's. You got to be careful of like there are really sometimes you see these really like small websites that sound official, but then they have like, and I see this all the time, no contact information, no phone number, no mailing address, and they're putting out this like market information like they're a market news website. And it's like, oh man, those could be some really misleading articles. And I've seen some where I'm like, so you got to be careful with where you get your sources from. But yeah, usually you pay attention to the news and then you get inspiration, something that piques your interest, and then go do your deep dive.
Yeah, I mean, it gets worse. Some of those sites that you're talking about will also have names on the About Us because they need it for Google, and there'll be fake names. There'll be fake names.
Oh, wow.
And some of those sites, they're created with a click of a button. I mean, I had guys reach out to me to like take on and power the content on those sites, so they have normal news mixed in with their penny stock pumps, and that's what their game is. Some of these guys, I'm not saying all, I'm just saying some of these guys, or the other way is they want more content, they want more sites to build their email list, so then they send them the penny stock pump, and that's why I think why we wanted you on so bad, because you're not just giving stock market advice, you're giving life advice, and you're showing allocations, and it makes people identify with you. Yes, they would like to have your bank account, but it just shows how you're doing things, and you're never BSing, and you're always telling the truth, and that just makes life easier. So I mean, I'd love to have you on again, or you had me on. And by the way, during the GameStop thing, I don't know how you do it, Kevin, but we were the guys that like broke the thing with the Webull CEO, and somehow you found that. And like, I didn't see.
I think somebody sent it to me. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's amazing. It was the best. We are the ones who got it from Webull. Then the trade was allowed, and that day I didn't expect to be on and doing that. Our business, we license content to the brokerages. Like we're like the Associated Press of the stock market. So if you're using like a brokerage, we're providing news. We have like 1,200. We have like a newsroom of 35 people, really doing news, and I can explain more later. But having guys like you on are awesome. And like I said, when you guys listen to a Meet Kevin research report on a stock, it's so incredibly detailed, and he goes into everything. The only thing that can screw you up, I'll tell you this. So this is the one thing that could screw you up. So sorry for talking too much at the end, but this is a compliment to you. I bought Upwork stock a while ago because they changed their pricing policy where people couldn't go off the network. And like they made it much harder, because if you get caught going off the network from a vendor perspective, you would lose your contract with Upwork. Like you could lose your feedback and your rankings. And I'm like, no one is noticing this. And this happened like 3 months ago. I use Upwork as a buyer. And so what I did was I went and got 3 analyst reports from like Wall Street banks. I wanted to see if they mentioned this, because if they didn't mention it, then I know it wasn't accounted for in the stock price, or at least I thought so.
Right.
Now, where if I would watch you go really deep. You may account for that change, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't buy it. Maybe that's already in the market. But the truth is, like, I got it. The walls. You know what I mean? Like they don't. They're not like, a lot of them don't go as deep as you. And I bought that stock Upwork so big before earnings because no one was talking about this thing, and then they killed earnings, and then it went up 25% that day. I sold some, which I shouldn't have, and it went up another 100% over the next 3 weeks. And to your advice, I should not have sold any, but that's live and learn. But that's a compliment to you, because you go so deep, not just like reading their numbers, you go deep as a user, and that's where your Etsy conviction. I wish we had talked more about that, but that's where it's so like powerful. When you read an analyst report, they're not necessarily a user of the product, and when you're a user of the product, it changes everything.
You have to be. I mean, I get so many tickers of things that I just know nothing about and I don't use. And I'm like, I feel like I'm shooting blind, because you could read the analyst reports, you could read the earnings report, but you don't know what you should even be looking for. Like when you use the product, you know what you should be looking for. It's a lot easier. So that's a great example.
Way back in 2000, I had online dating sites, and I made more money investing in the public stocks. There was a J-Date was public on a small OTC, but Yahoo had free personals, but then the quarter before they introduced $20 a month. And so I'm like, I looked at analyst reports, no one had that in there. Of course, they beat earnings by 60 million at the time. It was the personals, and like That's why. Honestly, when I asked you the question, do you ever buy stocks when you hear from someone that you think smart? I do, because when you said that one company that the auto one, I bought it and it was down 10% at first. I bought more shares. I go, Kevin did his due diligence, and so I just took you for it. You're not going to get, and I'm not, even if you got it wrong, like you spent the time, and I trust your brain more than I trust the average. More than I trust the average people on Wall Street. Oh God, sorry.
Well, I appreciate.
Yeah, sorry. Good. So thank you. Yeah, so that's why I did it. I and so I appreciate you coming on. Thank you for staying so long with us. I know you're the busiest guy in the world, so we truly appreciate it. You guys, if you don't follow Kevin, go to YouTube. Meet Kevin. He's there everywhere, and he's just a good guy. And next time we're gonna get you just giving a lesson, and then you guys have these courses. Kevin has great courses, how to build a YouTube and all this stuff. Check it out in the store.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on and out of your day. We appreciate it. Hopefully you'll come on again and we'll get more of your knowledge and wisdom. Appreciate it, man.
Deal. Thanks. We'll see you.
Yep. Bye-bye. Okay. Now that was Kevin. Let's give Kevin some likes, subscribe, shares, what have you. Follow Kevin. Do whatever you got to do. Because next we have on, we're not stopping. We're just going. And the phone ringing was damn Apple. I got to figure out how to work this Apple phone stuff. But next we have on my good friend, Tom Nash, but before he comes on, I got to do something real quick, and here we go. All right, Tom Nash, how are you today?
How can I get a bumper like that? That was professional. I got hype.
Dude. I can get you any bumper you want. I'll get you the bumper. You just keep giving me winning stocks, and then I'll get you any bumper you want. We got like a 15-person video team here. So whatever you want. I just have to answer some of my emails or Slacks to let them know, because that is my deficiency. If I can get someone else to go in my head and answer these Slacks or go back and forth, then that would be great. It's hard to find like a chief of staff or what have you, to do that. But yes. So how have you been, my man?
I'm good. I actually had Kevin on 2 days ago on my channel. We were doing a live stream together.
Oh, I should have said. I didn't know that.
No, but nobody knew it because the internet was so horrible that it essentially crashed multiple times, and we had to call it off.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, he is. They said I was fanboying over Kevin so hard. Whatever. I don't care.
They said the same thing about me when I had him on it was kind of working on and off, but we had a really good conversation. People, for some reason, I mean, they don't enjoy. People have a hard time when people give other people compliments, I think, just in general.
Yep. I agree. And
they want blood.
they want blood, and people don't want to seek to understand either. They want to, like someone goes, I don't believe Kevin's story. They're like, this guy's like, I don't believe Kevin's story. Someone must have given him all this money. So, so yeah, that's it.
I mean, he's killing it. Look at his numbers. I mean, his YouTube is off the chart. I mean, nobody gave him anything.
Yeah, no one get. God, what are you gonna say?
He's putting out a lot of quality content, and he's killing it. I mean, you can't deny it. And haters be haters. I mean, nothing new. I got haters as well.
Yeah, you got. No, you don't have any haters. No way.
No, I actually had two come out at the same time and post some nonsense about me, but both of them actually apologized and retracted.
They did?
Yeah.
Why'd they retract? You reached out?
Yeah, I reached out and I had a conversation. I mean, usually once it kind of comes with the territory, right? Kevin is a big deal. Everybody knows he's a household name. So once you get big, everybody has an opinion,
Yep. And opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one.
Exactly. More than one.
Yeah. So you could say opinions are like eyes, but I just felt like saying the other thing just now. Yep. Yeah. So what's new in your world? How did you sell any of the Bingo? Bingo.
I'm still in.
What's his name?
I'm still in, and I'm really appreciative of people think I gave them the BCRX tip, but I actually put it in my post that it came from you and from the nice lady that was on the show.
Oh yeah. So they're giving you a lot of credit for BCRX.
They give me credit for something that's not mine, and I said Jason Raznick with an A told me to buy that stock.
Yeah,
A with an A, And I actually, well, the one thing I'll take credit for, when it was dipping hard, I doubled my position and I let them know, hey, I just doubled my position. And that's kind of where I take the credit. And now it's going back up. They have some good news. I don't know if you noticed. A new trial is coming out. A lot of interesting stuff going on with BCRX.
Got it. So
very
you
excited.
like it. You like it.
Yeah. I'm in for the long haul. Same with BNGO, not selling. And same with Palantir. Palantir was massive. And I don't know if you probably don't have time to watch all my videos. I mean, but
Yes.
of course,
No,
of course you do. Of course you watch them all.
Watch. I've never missed a video of yours.
Twice every video just to make sure you got everything right.
Yeah. Yep. So what was you going to say? What were you going to say?
I made a video right before earnings and I said, hey, just to let you know, in 3 days, the lockup is going to expire because it's a direct listing. So you got a lot of people looking to sell because they were holding these non-liquid assets for 17 years. It's a lot of people that need cash, want to meet cash. It's okay. It's normal. Even though they have different perspectives, some of them are retiring, whatever. So there's going to be 80% of the stock getting unlocked 3 days after the earnings. So I said to everybody, this is going to be a buying opportunity. And it happened just as I said, and others as well. I'm not taking sole credit. But you know what shocked me? How fast that window closed as far as, it went down to about 25. And then within 24 hours, it started closing. And I thought it's going to take weeks. Just goes to show you how crazy this market right now is. It's insane.
Yeah. But then in a bull market that, market goes up, that happened. But like in the market past few days, we're seeing some sell-offs. So I have been trimming. I have been trimming for sure on some of my riskier positions. Are you not trimming at all then?
I don't have any per se risky positions. My portfolio is like it looks like the person who owns it eats dinner at 5 and plays bingo. There's nothing like BNGO is probably my most exciting stock there. It's very, very lame. It's just blue chip stocks. So there's no sense in trimming now. I mean,
you haven't sold any BNGO is what I think.
No, I'm not selling.
Yeah. Did you hear my trade that I put on today, which I don't have any color to it. But did you hear my trade or no?
No, tell me.
This guy who also gave me Office Depot that went up a bunch, and then he also gave me the one that is another one that's up. Wait, what's the one? Let me just look at my gains today because I can pull up my gains today. It is oh, come on, where is it? Where's this guy? Hold on. How can I see forget the other one, but the one that I bought today has earnings tonight is BIGC. B is in boy, I is in igloo, G is in ghost, C is in Charlie. I don't know like it's gonna have strong earnings or not. This guy seems to think so, but he's not anyone that I would necessarily trust with a stock pick. The reason I bought it, it was like it's positioned itself as a Shopify competitor, more for the enterprises. And so there are the stock has risen and then dropped tremendously. They've gotten some definitely more contracts with enterprises to run their like e-commerce type stores. So I'm playing as a little bit of earnings play, but it's not one that I'm highly confident in. But I just thought it was interesting, the Shopify competitor that's sold off a lot. Maybe that's because of poor execution.
You know what I'm looking at right now, Jason? I'm looking at the short float.
30%.
Oh, it's very high.
Yeah, so that's what my friend who has it, he owns 500,000 of it. And the other stocks, the chat just reminded me of it. See, the chat's so good. Abe reminded me, STKS. This is STK Steakhouse, and it's up today because the recovery stocks. But STKS is the other one that he gave me, and I bought it, and it's up since I bought it 30%. So STKS is another one that I bought. Not today, but I've been buying.
It had a major spike. I see it now.
Yeah. So
wow, 10% just in the last day.
Yep. Exactly. So that is
this one seems to be much more consensus than the previous one.
Yes. So this big BIGC, if it sells off today in earnings, I'll be out of it. Like I'll just be done. This was This is just, trade, doing the earnings trade, and who knows? I don't know. So don't worry. Don't go chase that one. Any new stocks for you?
Well, I did want to talk to you. I got a few minutes before you have to kick me out. I did want to talk to you about, and I spoke about it with Aaron. I really want to make a bullish case for Palantir. Even at this price, even at $30, I see this as a $40 stock, and I'll tell you why. Again,
Wow.
it's just this is just my opinion. This isn't investment advice. Chillax. This is just a dude with his own due diligence. So here's how I see Palantir. If you just run a DCF on Palantir based on their own guidance of profits for 2025, the company isn't worth nearly 40. It's probably less than half of $40 per share. However, here's where I kind of have a theory about it. And I'm not the only one. If you take a look at Kathy, she loaded up on a ton of Palantir.
I get it. You're on a first name basis now with Kathy. Very nice.
I just have a crush on her. Everybody knows that. So it's just, I'm a fanboy. But
are you gonna watch my interview with her on March 3rd?
Of course. I watch everything that Kathy does. Everybody knows that.
It would have been better if you said I watch everything. Of course, I watch everything that Jason does. That would have been better if you said.
That's a given. You asked about Kathy. That's an additional information. But I watch the pre-market show. Come on, I even watch the stuff you're not in.
Oh, okay.
The dude on the pre-market show has a Michigan shirt. I have to watch it.
Oh yeah, Joel. Yeah.
Tell him I said hi. Anyways, ARK Invest, their flagship, the innovation ETF, loaded up more than 5 million shares of Palantir during the last dip. It's now over 0.5% of the entire fund. It's a massive fund. That's the one where they have Tesla, Twilio, all the flagship stocks they have. So she loaded up on a bunch of it. She literally had 20,000 shares in October. So that's in 4 months. Here's what she loves it, and I love it. I'll tell you why. I think that even Palantir are being extremely conservative with their estimates as far as the next 4 years, because nobody really understands what is the total addressable market of this company. Because what is their market? Their market is predicting the future. You can't Google, predicting the future, total addressable market 2027. I mean, that isn't going to come up. I mean, this is a company that provides a software solution that is entirely industry agnostic. You can put it in the grocery store, in a mining company, in a taxi. I mean, you can pretty much work this product in any industry, in any level, and achieve improved efficiency, improved earnings, basically improved safety, not to mention the stuff they do with the government. So here's my theory about what I think Peter Thiel did here, which I think was genius. So I kind of see it. And again, I'm not saying that this is Tesla. I'm just saying it's a Tesla-like behavior. And I agree with that assessment. I think Kathy feels the same way as well. So Peter Thiel actually wrote it in his book. I'll send you the link. So in his book, he talks about the next big thing he's going to do. And he's talking about how to monopolize a brand new market that does not exist. How to create a brand new market and monopolize it. And if you think about Palantir, that's exactly that. It's a company that's pretty much monopolizing a market that has no competitors because nobody is in it yet. Maybe IBM in the future, but they're partners with Palantir anyways at this point. So, but even then, they're so far ahead of everybody, like Tesla. So it's going to be very hard to catch them. Now, here's what I think they did, which was genius. Because if you take a look at Palantir for the last 17 years, you would say this company makes no sense. I mean, they're losing money. They haven't had a profitable quarter in 17 years. They're losing a ton of money. They're only working with the government on defense products. And what is the purpose of this company? And now it's still in embryonic stages, but they're moving out of the government into the commercial sector. So what they did is they took 17 years of unlimited government resources to build IP, and now they get to use at least some sort of cores of that IP into the commercial market with a product that took 17 years to develop. How can you compete with that? And if you look at the numbers that they're showing as far as the stuff that they're doing with Airbus, the stuff that they're doing with the UK HMO, I forgot their name, the NHS, they work with mining companies. And their growth in the commercial sector, people are excited about, they had a 40% growth or whatever. they're not even working. I think they're working with less than 5% of the major corporations in the world. They're strictly in the US, and they have a very limited amount of clients. But even in that limited clientele, they're serving 16 different industries. So they haven't even started working the commercial side. So here's the thing. If you believe that this is a Tesla-like development curve, then it's worth $40. And if you don't see the vision, then it's not. It's very simple. There's not going to be a DCF you can run right now based on past behavior that's going to give you $40 per share. You got to buy into the vision, so to speak, buy into the potential. Simple. I buy into it. I think ARK Invest does as well. And I definitely think it's going to hit $40. And even then, I'm probably not going to sell it.
Got it. Okay. No, that's Tom Nash on Palantir. I love it. I love the confidence, and I love how you do the DCF and discounted cash flow models.
This is actually one example where the DCF is not applicable. So here's a surprise for you.
Well,
I ran it, by the way. I ran the DCF on this company. I'm not going to show it, but I got like $12 per stock.
Oh,
but that's just based on per share. Sorry, but that's just based on whether if you take a linear kind of growth from what
I get it. It's not based on what it can be, and just like Benzinga, we're going to grow 100-fold this year, right?
Everybody knows that.
Yeah, exactly. Same kind of thing. I did buy another stock, BTN, by the way. B is in boy, T is in Tom, N is in Nancy. My friend who's very smart gave it to me. I don't understand it all, but he also gave me QRTEA, which is a QVC channel, and it's up 180% since he gave it to me. So BTN, I mean, I understand a bit, but on a valuation thing and the guy behind it, it's a good leadership. Just put it on your watch list. Don't go buy it today, but just put B as in boy, T as in Tom, Nancy on your watch list, okay?
By the way, for me, Jason, BTN means one thing.
I know.
It's the Big Ten Network.
I know. I knew
it doesn't mean anything else. However, just to let you know, this company literally has no short interest. Nobody's shorting this company. It has 0.1% short interest.
I know, but my guy Brian gave it to me, and so far he hasn't led me astray. Except Del Taco took 3 years to perform, but he also gave me TAST at 189. It's at 635. I mean, it gave me enough that So that's what I'm in. That's one of the ones.
But it's really flying under the radar, BTN.
I know. Let it fly under the radar. That's fine. That's just what happens. My money has to stay locked up.
It's an old company. It's an old company.
Yeah, they have, but they're doing some. I don't know what he said. I mean, I can send you the whole financial model on it. I'll send you that. I have the financial model. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I feel like we're just like talking and there's no one watching. It's really nice. even though there's like 2,000 people watching.
Well, that's usually what the conversation would be like, anyways. It's there's no. I mean. Yeah. I've seen you cry.
Yeah. you see me cry. And one thing before we end, I'm gonna have to send you a check or something. There may be someone, or maybe because when I was on your show and I talked about Benzinga and stuff, like there's maybe someone that we're hiring that like a few people reached out. Like, a lot of people reached out from the show. Other than the Brazilian people that wanted you to go help Brazil, I did get some people reaching out about wanting to join Benzinga, and so. You hire them, then I gotta send you like some thank you gifts,
Well, here's how you can repay me. You can come on again, and let's just have you on again.
Yeah, I would. Well, no, I can repay you I'll find other ways to repay. That's why I gave you some of those stock picks. So yeah, that's why I gave you some of those stock picks. I know we have a CEO of a exciting company coming on, Fire and Flower, Trevor Fencott, in a couple of minutes. We have Javier interview him. It's one of our cannabis companies that we work with, and it's a sweet company. But I just thank you. This guy who reached out, he was a Benzinga Pro user for a year, and then he saw my interview, and he was like, he seems good. Yeah. So
was it the guy who donated and then said I'll text you my CV?
I don't. That guy. It may have been. I don't remember. But yeah, if you're ever on your show and people are looking for jobs in the space, tell them to reach out to me. Like I like to hire people that are passionate and driven versus just people that want to do stuff. Because we're all going to get burnt out some days. So when you have other people that are passionate and driven, it makes your life a lot easier.
By the way, here's the thing. You are crazy. you put out your phone number, your personal phone number on my stream to thousands of people. I've never seen anybody do anything remotely close to as insane as you did.
Yeah. I just think people should be easier to connect with. And yeah, I know I did get some long messages, but guys, Tom Nash is the man. He's on YouTube. He's the man. And like I said, I think personalities can really shine through on YouTube and be your own broadcast network. We hope to do stuff with Tom Nash, but he's great. If you don't, I discovered him when he had like 12,000 or 13,000 followers when he was just really deep on a company. And I love fundamental people that go deep on companies. I love it. If you're a technical trader, I probably wouldn't have even stay there for 2 more minutes, but because you went deep on companies, I loved it. And you put your opinion out there. It's like, so sweet.
And I'm a Benzinga Pro user right now. Aaron
you are?
Yeah, he opened up a Benzinga Pro for me.
So email VIP accounts at benzinga.com and they'll give you a red carpet walkthrough of just a couple features that can be useful to you. I know it can be a little confusing first time using, and it'll get easier as we go, but email VIP accounts at benzinga.com, or I'll have them email you, but
okay.
I want to make sure you get the red carpet service. It has a lot of stuff in there.
But it's really responsive. I with everything that's going on, I expected it to be a little bit laggy, but it's completely responsive and it's super fast.
Trust me, a year ago it was laggy, but there's totally signals. There's everything in there. Insider, there's so much stuff in there. Yeah. So all right, Tom, come on again. It should not be so long. And Siggy Me says he's been following you before you had 10,000 followers. Okay, you beat me. Fine, you beat me. All right.
My mom beat both of you. She was my second subscriber. She's probably watching this. She's watching everything I do. So hi, Mom.
Yeah. Well, Tom has Benzinga Pro, but no YouTube Premium. Yes, he has Premium YouTube.
No, I have Premium. I did after my last stream where I was showing a clip, and then we got a bunch of commercials. They said you're a cheap bastard. Get YouTube Premium, and then I did YouTube Premium the next day. So now
why'd you get YouTube Premium the next day? What'd you say?
Because I was showing clips on stream, and it was showing commercials, and people were like, "Dude, you can't afford YouTube Premium."
Oh, they're making fun of you. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay,
I got it now. I got it.
All right, guys. Well, thank you, Tom. Thanks for coming on. I'm passing it off to So, Tom, stay in touch, and you know where to find me. Okay. All right, love you. Thanks for the PLTR, so much, guys. Tom, talk about PLTR. It's one of the stocks. He also gave me BNGO. It's up a lot. And I'm over time. It's 2:05. Javier said hard stop. So Javier Hesse, Managing Director of Cannabis here at Benzinga, has an exciting guest to bring on, but I'm going to transfer and bring Javier on now. Javier, are you there?
What's up?
Your audio works. That's a good start. What's up, man? What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Excited about this show today. Actually enjoying your conversation with Tom a lot. And I also find it very interesting that you always share your phone publicly. I always go like, this guy is nuts.
I don't always share it. Okay. I didn't do it that time, but yeah, I hear you.
I can test, whenever we hire someone, you go like, just call me on the weekend. Like, the
weekends are nights. I hate doing interviews for jobs during the weekday. I hate it. Weekends or nights. All right. I'm going to stop. We got a way better guest than me to talk. So do you know how to bring him on, Javier?
Yep.
All right. Go at it, baby.
Mitch.
All right. So one of the things